One thing about me is I love to go outside at the crack of dawn and get a lot of my household chores done. I love going outside and working in the dirt. It soothes my soul. It helps me. Today is no different than any other morning where I go outside while the world is still asleep. I have lots of things on my heart and on my mind. I have lots of things I want to share with you. As you know, this is Sunday, and this is my heart to heart. I see now more than ever my Anabaptist views and ways of life are shining through as if it's a light in a very dark, dark world. I realize now that so much I was taught at a young age has bloomed and blossomed in my life. I remember a day when there was a moral compass in this world. I remember a day when, as children, we knew right from wrong. Our moral compass was something that the general public also shared. It was a day and a lifetime of peace. I remember a time when children could freely play from sun up to sundown and didn't have to worry about their safety. I remember a day when neighbors would talk to one another and would share with each other. A friendly hello and a wave from a stranger and a smile. As I gather my herbs and my flowers, I'm drawn to the thought of my community. I lived in a rural community where everyone pretty much shared the same values in life. I was very blessed to grow up with a grandmother and mother, aunts and uncles, and everyone shared the same belief. We had a tight-knit community I see now. Things are so different these days. Things are so different for me. Some would say I'm very naive. Others would say I'm old-fashioned. Some would say my ideas have gone away with the times. But I say these are the times that we need to keep instilling in our life. I am an old-fashioned girl. My values and my traditions are old-fashioned. My way of living is old-fashioned. I don't apologize for my life, nor my thoughts. I embrace my heritage. I embrace how I was raised. I was raised to love everyone, but I also was raised not to conform to what other people say should be done. I was raised to think for myself, but yet hold traditions and values close at your heart. As I do my household chores and I work, I think upon these things. Lately, you hear the term, "Come out of her, my people." And while I've heard this now for a couple of years, I often thought, I don't understand what they mean. For me, my world was a godly one. My world was one of peace, of simplicity. But I'm starting to realize now the world that we live in is not the world that I grew up in. The world we live in, there is no right and wrong. And what's wrong is right, and what's right is wrong. I realize in life things are different now. It seems this world has gone crazy. It seems this world has no rules, no values. At one time, I remember in my life, if you would speak up for truth, you were honored, you were blessed, you were encouraged. But now when you speak up for things that are right, you're persecuted, you're rejected. What has happened to this world? It seems like it happened overnight, but slowly it's been happening. Through the years, little by little, it's like a worm that eats through an apple. It's just a little hole in the apple, but before you know it, the whole thing is rotten. I'm mixed in my emotions with sadness and anger, but yet I have excitement in my voice because I see that there is revival happening. It's not all doom and gloom. In times past, you've seen me in different places, sharing my love of the Lord to people who were lost. You've seen me and people wondered, why am I here? Why am I there? What is my reason? What is my goal? It was to share a light in a dark world. We are called to be fishers of men, but it seems as if people don't want to hear like they did years ago. It seems as if you go to these places where people are hurting and lost, and you share with them, you have an answer, they don't want to hear it. You will not find me in those places anymore. Many of them, I will not be there. Some, I still remain because I am a guest and they welcome me. Many videos are made on the end times. There's so much of the apocalyptic type talk. Well, I don't talk about such things often on my channel. I don't talk about the end of the world as we know it or doom and gloom. I am sure of one thing, that we are living in end times. The acceptance of sin is going so rampant these days. If my grandma Fanny was alive today, I shudder to think what she would say. I'm thankful she is not here to see this. My ancestors would not believe how this world has turned. My ancestors would not believe it. I want you just to take a moment and think about the things that are becoming legal here in the United States. Just think. If people would just take one moment in silence and think, the vile corruptness is unbelievable. The acts that are being done and being legal is unbelievable. If you just think about it and focus on it. So I ask you these simple questions. What are we to do in the world that we live in? How do we become in the world but not of it? The Bible clearly states in Revelations about how the world will be. And it's coming to fruit so quickly, it seems. My channel is traditional. I'm considered a traditionalist. Imagine that. There's a word for me. I believe in the traditions and the customs of our world years gone by. While we made big progress in the way we treat one another, I still believe in the fundamental foundation that our country was built upon. So that is who I am, a traditionalist. Someone who believes in the values and the traditions of our forefathers. While not all of their traditions I believe in, I do believe the fundamental basics. My question to you is, the window is closing. Steadily but surely, it's closing. We have this window open just for a time. But once the window is closed, it's over for good. I want to exalt you. I want to give you some food for thought. I want to encourage you. We are to fight the good fight. We don't wrestle with flesh and blood, but with powers and principalities. We are on this earth for this time, for this season, for a reason and a purpose. God used the weakest of the people in the Bible, but He made them strong. God is using you, God is using me to be a light in a very dark world. Even as I speak, the Lord is giving us a wake-up call. There are many people right now that are having a wake-up call. The Lord is trying to reach you. Don't turn your back on Him. Listen to what He says. I plead with you before it's too late.